Welcome to AnSRS4U Express, PI Departures Project Transfers. This presentation will help you know what items need to be considered and what steps to take if the PI is departing the institution and transferring a sponsored project from Texas A&M to the new institution. Early communication is critical to success in the PI departure process. It is very important that the appropriate offices are notified when a PI is departing Texas A&M University. This presentation will focus on the scenario where the PI is transferring to a new institution and the PI has existing sponsored projects. What offices need to be informed? Of course, the PI's department head and appropriate people in the college. The SRS project administrator needs to be informed. The PI should inform his program manager at the sponsored agency and follow their instructions. Sponsors, including federal agencies, have different processes on how to handle a sponsored project when the PI is transferring from the awarded institution. Some sponsors will want the award to stay with the existing institution. Then they may approve a subaward to the new institution in order for the PI to carry on the work. This will require naming a replacement PI at the original institution. Other sponsors will want the award transferred to the new institution. Remember, federal grants and contracts are awarded to the institution, not directly to the principal investigator. Texas A&M University will determine on a case-by-case basis whether it will retain, transfer, or terminate the award. To transfer the award, Texas A&M University must formally relinquish the award. A third option is to terminate the award. If the award is close to the end of the period of performance and the work has been completed, the sponsor may decide to terminate the award. Texas A&M University Sponsored Research Services has created a checklist to use when a PI with sponsored awards is transferring from Texas A&M to the new institution. A separate form needs to be completed for each of the sponsored awards. Approvals from the department head and appropriate dean are needed to relinquish the award. The checklist form can be obtained from your SRS project administrator. SRS needs a new institution-sponsored project's contact. SRS will work closely with this person to accomplish the transfer of the award. The project administrator, following the sponsor's instructions, will submit a transfer request to the sponsor. The sponsor will send the new award document to the new institution. Do projects involve research compliance items? If yes, notify the appropriate office. The IRB, the ICOOK, Biohazards Office to ensure the appropriate closeout of the protocol. Contact the Radiological Safety Office if any radioactive material or radiation-producing equipment is in the laboratory. Were any inventions disclosed under this project? If so, contact the Texas A&M Innovation Office. Does the existing project have subrecipients? If yes, the PI needs to notify the other institutions. If Texas A&M is going to relinquish the award to the new institution, then spending has to stop on the award. The existing subawards will need to be closed out and terminated. Subrecipients will need to submit their invoice in a timely manner. Determine the plan for personnel that are supported by the project. Are some planning to transfer with the PI to the new institution, or will they remain at Texas A&M? Does the PI want to transfer equipment? Determine with what funds it was purchased and who does the title vest with. If it was purchased with grant funds, it would typically be transferred with the award. If the equipment was purchased with Texas A&M University funds, a decision would be made whether to transfer the equipment, and the new institution may have to reimburse Texas A&M University for the value of the equipment. Determine the amount to be transferred to the new institution. The amount will need to be placed on the relinquishing statement. Once the amount is determined, the department and/or the PI will be responsible for any subsequent expenses posted to the project that were not identified prior to the award relinquishment. If project had a cost-sharing requirement, verify that the cost-sharing commitments are up to date. For effort reporting, make sure that the PI has completed effort certification and certification for all direct reports for all reporting periods prior to the departure date. Project reports. Verify that the project reports are up to date. Ensure that the reports required to be submitted by the PI, including any technical reports, are up to date. Ensure that reports that SRS is responsible for have been submitted. In closing, remember these takeaways. The process of transferring a sponsored project to a new institution is complicated and will take time. Communicate with the existing institution and the new institution. Communicate with the program manager at the sponsor to determine how they want to handle the transfer. Communicate with any subawards if they are on the project. Working together, we can ensure the transfer process goes as smooth and as quickly as possible.